Hello, I'm Mark. Welcome to Geeks Unleashed. This episode 222. So each week on the Geeks Unleashed podcast, we catch up on our pop culture lives. We discuss some movie news and trailer reactions. We also bring you a movie review. I'm also joined on YouTube, as always, by the hottest guests on YouTube. However, before I bring them on and before we get started, if you're on YouTube watching live or on the rewind, please remember to like and subscribe. And also, please leave a comment and let us know about the two reviews that we'll be discussing tonight. Leave a comment, let us know what you loved or didn't love about The Mummy or Exit 8. And if you are listening on your favorite podcast platform, please remember, again, subscribe, etc. And I'm going to bring on, without further ado, he's been here pretty much since we came back in March. However, he did miss last week, unfortunately, but he is back from Bristol. It's Tom.
Hey, how we doing, Mark?
You're right, man. Yeah, good.
Good. Thanks for having me on.
That's right, man. You're gonna have to get a second camera for that beard.
Like, I know, mate. It is Santa Claus in a minute.
And making his first appearance on Geeks Unleashed from London is Sam.
Hello. Hi, Mark and Tom. How are you doing?
Good to have you on, man.
All good, my friend.
Yeah, how you doing, Sam? You had a good week?
Yeah, really good, thanks. Yeah, I haven't really just kind of been chilling all week, just kind of having fun.
Oh,
nice.
I think it's the week that me and Tom probably wish we had. I don't think I've actually spoken to Tom at all this week. I've been that busy, so
yeah, I've been pretty flat out as well. I've got some time off next week, so this week has just felt like it is just dragged. So glad it's Friday.
I think whenever you're going to have holiday, it's always like you do like 2 weeks of work before you have holiday, and then 2 weeks of work after holidays.
yeah. Exactly.
Any kind of break at all. So
yeah.
Right. Okay. So Sam, as we're new here, one of the things that we do on here is something called Geek of the Week, which we'll do now. So Geek of the Week is something for anyone that's new to the show, is something that we've done on our own, and it's something that we've enjoyed that week, whether it's something we've read or watched or etc. Is there anything particularly that you've had fun with this week?
I've been watching For All Mankind, which is if you've heard of it, it's like an Apple TV show. For anyone who hasn't watched it, it's an alternate history show about like what happens if the Soviet Union won the space race. And then it careens from like that. So it's like very small changes, but then gets exponentially bigger. And currently on season 5, we've gone like very far. But I won't sort of say really what happens, just because I think it's such a good show to go in as blind as possible, only knowing the sort of basic premise of it.
Oh, okay. Did you watch this week's episode? I haven't seen it yet.
I haven't watched the 5th one. I just watched the 4th because I was a bit behind. But the 4th, it's as good as it always is. Maybe, sort of ups and downs, but like I think it's quite good so far.
I actually did see online earlier that you mentioned you've got tickets for the spin-off for Star City.
Yep.
I think that's next Wednesday, actually. I think
you
said. Yeah. I don't think I can make it, but I saw it and I was like, oh, maybe. And I was like, I don't think I can go, actually. So I'm interested to understand with Star City, because with For All Mankind, they have shown a lot of the Russians' involvement.
Yeah.
So I don't. So what I'm wondering is it? Are they going to fill? Are they? As some of the American cast, are we going to still see those scenes? That's what I'm wondering. How that's going to work.
I'm curious too, because like from the trailer, all the Russian characters speaking in British accents, which is very weird to me.
Oh, I haven't seen the trailer.
Yeah, I mean it's weird because obviously in the show they all speak in like Russian accents, sort of, but on the trailer they're all speaking British accents. It kind of reminded me of Chernobyl. If you remember, in Chernobyl, everyone speaks in the British accent.
I haven't seen Chernobyl yet.
That's another really good one you should watch.
I've heard a lot of good things about that one, actually.
Yeah, Chernobyl definitely is on my list of things I really want to watch. But there's so many. Yeah. So I'm the same as you, Sam. I'm up to episode 4. I haven't seen 5 yet.
Yeah.
But last year I binge watched For All Mankind seasons 1 to 4.
Yeah.
Over a couple of weeks. I think it's a phenomenal show. I love it.
Very underrated. Like not enough people I think are talking about it because it's been there since like 2019, so it's been around for a while, which is like it was the first Apple show that like
it was a big thing at the time, and I just sort of fell behind.
Yeah.
Did you ever watch a TV show came out years ago called The Killing?
Oh yeah, Joel Kinnaman, Muriel Enos.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
And it was amazing to have the handover between the two actors in season 5.
Yeah.
How I'm terrible with names. Sorry, I don't know how you say
I think it's Muriel Enos. She's married to Alan Ruck.
But how she's come in season 5 as Joel is leaving season 5.
Yeah,
and
that's
I think
kind of a spoiler, to be fair, but
I think I think that's obviously gonna happen though. So
yeah. But
okay, I haven't said any more about him leaving, but
that's good. So. But yeah, no, characters do sort of come and go. It's a bit like a soap opera. Sort of, not everyone stays on for the entire show, as is the nature of TV, I think.
Yeah, I think so. With For All Mankind, Tom, I don't think you've seen it, have you?
No.
So
I'm aware of it though.
Each season will end, and then the next season starts 10 years later. So every season is a 10-year jump. So eventually, characters will have to go because unfortunately nobody lives forever. So
yeah.
But what I love the fact that we're For All Mankind, mate. Like, I'm glad you brought it up. Like that, it was alternate history.
Yeah.
And now it's its own thing. And I really hope before I leave this earth that I'm sure I would never be included, but I would love it if we could put something on Mars. I think that would be amazing.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I'm with you. Did you find someone to fill your ticket yet for Star City?
Yes, I did.
Amazing.
I managed to, which is good. It was a free ticket as well, so it's sort of it's gonna be a good time.
Is that in the cinema?
Yes, in the Battersea Power Station.
Oh yeah, I saw. There's a Transformer shop there.
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah.
I believe so. Yeah.
That also is what caught my interest, thinking, maybe I could go to Battersea Power Station, also go to the Transformer shop. But yeah, it's too late now, but hopefully you'll enjoy it and let us know. So
I will. I'm excited.
Tom, what about you?
No, so this week I did watch a couple of movies, but I did a bit more reading than watching. So I just wanted to highlight one book that I enjoyed this week, and I've been reading Absolute Wonder Woman.
Oh yeah.
This issue 19, and I just want to highlight this book because it just it's probably one of, if not my favorite ongoings at DC right now, and it is so consistent. Hayden Sherman on the art is just the way he does his paneling, and his artwork is so clean, it's so beautiful, and there's so much lore and world building, and there's so much going on. Each issue just progresses and progresses. Interesting characters that have come in recently as well. So yeah, I just wanted to highlight this one. Really, I definitely recommend this if you're not reading it at the minute. Yeah.
Do you know what? I'm buying it. I'm just not reading it. It's nothing against it. It's just time.
Mate, it's so good. It's so good.
I did. You know what? I cancelled it around issue 14, and then I decided to go and get it again. And I've got every issue other than 15, and like 15's like number 15's like 15 quid on eBay just because I missed one month. I thought, I'll cancel a bunch of stuff I'm not reading, and then but I kicked myself because I thought, no, do you know what? I want to read it. And
I think number 15 is the crossover with
Batman.
So I'm not sure if that's any more reason.
That's probably it.
Yeah.
Do you read comics, Sam?
I occasionally do. I've been reading a lot of manga, like Attack on Titan, Uzumaki. I used to read the Walking Dead comics a bit, sort of in the early stages, and then kind of I think around issue 30 in the prison arc, I kind of was like, it's not really. But I love the show, so like I was just like, the show's more my kind of thing, you know.
Yeah. I think I watched all of the show before, and I read maybe the first graphic novel or two of The Walking Dead, and I was like, I can't read it now that I've watched the show. It's kind of like one or the other. You either read it or anyway, so my geek of the week, the thing that I've enjoyed this week, I'll be honest, I haven't watched. This is the first week probably since the year started that I haven't watched a single film this week. Sorry, this week is the first. So this is the first week I haven't watched a film. Other than tonight, obviously Exit 8, but other than tonight, I haven't watched a single film. I have watched a bit of TV. It's just been a really busy week. But the one thing I really want to shout out that I have enjoyed, I did watch a few TV shows. Daredevil, the latest episode 6. Look, we all knew it was going to happen, so this isn't really a spoiler, but Jessica Jones is finally back. And I don't want to ruin the opening scene, she's with somebody, and I don't want to ruin it, like, because it's something that is in the comics.
Yeah.
And just what was so cool was they didn't show her initially.
No.
They showed this other person, and yeah, I don't even want to describe who that other person is. And then she comes over, and I'm like, oh, brilliant setup. And then, do you know what? After I watched that episode, I then went and watched the first 4 episodes of the Defenders miniseries that came out in 2017.
Yeah.
I've seen it before, but I just went back and rewatched it. I love that team up miniseries.
Yeah.
But this season of Daredevil is so much better than the last season.
Yes.
Nothing wrong with there was a lot wrong with the last season.
Yeah.
But this is back to kind of the Netflix style.
Yeah. I will also add to that, like, I watched all the Netflix stuff pretty much the day or the week. I'd always finish it the weekend that it came out. So this is when I was studying my GCSEs, because that's how young I am. But like, I was studying my GCSEs when Jessica Jones came out, that first season. I raced through it, and for me, seeing her back in like something, and I was just like, this is so good, because I was so gutted when all of them got cancelled one after the other, because you could just kind of see them very quickly. Like when Daredevil got cancelled, I was like, all right, Jessica Jones has gone, Punisher has gone, and so on and so on. Yeah. And just seeing it all return, and it feels like it's like we never left, which is amazing. And like Daredevil Born Again season 2 feels like, if season 1 was, I kind of forgave season 1 because I knew season 1 had those reshoots and was a mess. Like if you look at season 1, the only good episodes, in my opinion, are the first like 2 and then the final 2, because everything in between is just the old footage, and it's really like choppy. It's not bad. It's not saying it's bad, but it's just very like, you can tell a lot was like very choppy. But then you get to season 2 and the whole thing is just, they're on a different level. It's actually incredible. I think on IMDb I've rated every episode at least a 9 out of 10, because I'm actually like astonished by how good it is.
This season is just so different, because my wife watched all of the Netflix Defenders stuff with me. So I watched it initially on my own, and then during COVID, I convinced her. I said I'll rewatch it, and we watched it all chronologically.
Yeah,
I think it took us something like 6 months to get through every single show.
A lot of episodes.
Oh yeah, there's a lot. Yeah, and even she said she really loved how connected it all was, but also really smoothly connected. Like just even some of the sort of the low level criminals that show up, or the police that show up, and even like how Foggy will sometimes show up in Luke Cage or whatever,
Barry Hogarth popping up in
all of those things mixed together, and it worked well. It was almost better than the MCU's connectivity. It was done really well. And it was just so gutting of how I hated the ending of, I think, was it Jessica Jones's season might have been the last one, I think.
Yeah, that was a mess. I didn't love that.
Well, just how Luke Cage showed up at the end in the final episode, and it was like, it felt like it was just going to be a really good setup that we didn't get. So I am hoping that we do get it now with her coming back. I don't know. Anyway, look, I loved it. This week's episode. Tom, you're not up to date with it, are you?
No, I'm caught up to episode 4.
Okay.
And I agree with you both. It just a much higher level than season 1, a lot more enjoyable. And it's nice to see, because having the shows on Disney Plus, you're always curious about how far they're going to take things, and it's been nice to see how far they have been taking things. Yeah, I've been enjoying it.
What we're talking about, Defenders, guys, like obviously I think Daredevil was the top of all of those shows. I think what would you say was, like, for your guys, your opinions, what would be your next out of all of those Netflix shows? What would you say was your second favorite out of all those shows?
I think the problem with all the other shows is their seasons, you'd have really good separate seasons, but then other seasons would be really bad. Like if you look at Iron Fist, I think is probably the weakest of the bunch, and I think that's not really a controversial take, because the first season is just really boring, personally. And then I think
Iron Fist massively improved in the second season.
It did, but it was not on the level of anything else, personally. It's still like right at the bottom.
I think my second favorite out of all of them was the Punisher. I think both of them.
No, the thing is, Punisher season 1 is, I think, up there. It's probably Punisher season 1 is, I think, top 3 of the 13 seasons. Punisher season 2 is bottom half, because Punisher season 2 was very clearly, I don't know what it was, but it just felt very low effort, and the whole thing just felt like, oh, we've made a season 2, but we're being cancelled anyway, so let's just, throw it.
Well, I love that Karen's a lot more included. I felt that relationship between Karen and Frank was really cool.
Yeah,
I enjoyed that. What about you, Tom? Any thoughts on it before we move on?
I think I don't think I actually saw Iron Fist, but I did enjoy Luke Cage and Jessica Jones. I'd say out of personal preference, I'd probably Jessica Jones. And as you say, it's cool to hear that she's finally back. Obviously, like you said, we all knew it was coming, but yeah, it's cool to see she's back in the fray, and I want to see where they take that. Obviously, we know a few characters might be popping up in the next Spider-Man movie, so I just. I wonder who else, could be involved.
Yeah, I looked it up. So the week Daredevil finishes, the following week the Punisher comes out, and then there is a bit of a gap for Spider-Man. I mean, being a fanboy here, I hope they're lining it up. So
it looks like they are.
Yeah. Right, okay. With that, Geek of the Week is finished, and thank you very much, guys. We have started the trend here of doing some trailer reviews or reactions. First one is a little bit longer. I thought we'll start with an easy one. We're going to do a comedy.
Nice.
Don't worry. I test all the potential new family members with this machine. Is your name Olivia Jones?
Yes.
You love Henry Focker?
Very much.
Do you have a positive impression of Henry's family so far?
Yes.
Hello. Hey, the old machine. It's funny to be on the outside. I'm used to being in the hot seat.
Would you like to ask me some questions, Greg?
Okay, Olivia, do you think I hold Henry emotionally hostage?
I mean, yeah. You call him wee-wee?
Wee-wee?
What is that, like a joke about his wee-wee?
Oh, nope, no jokes about Henry's little penis. I mean, not little. You probably have more up-to-date info on it. I haven't seen it for a while, so... Dad, please stop talking. All right. What do you think of Olivia?
She's adorable, so smart.
Good boy.
He likes you. With one sniff, dogs can tell more about a person's character than a human could. I don't know if you were aware, Greg, but when we first met, I didn't think you were good enough for my pancake.
Yeah, I didn't notice.
But Olivia's a powerhouse.
People underestimate me, but actually, I was an FBI hostage negotiator.
Oh.
Badass.
Here comes the airplane.
I pulled the strings of the hostage takers, like strategic, emotional puppetry. That's how I'm gonna free Henry from you, Greg. Oh my God.
What do we do? Oh my God, you baby birded Grandpa Jay. I'm gonna ask Olivia to marry me.
What?
Hey, you sure she's the one?
Dad, why?
I'm a little worried about Henry. He's so innocent, and she's trained to manipulate people.
I love the lengths that you go to for your mishpucha.
Mishpucha.
That means family in Yiddish.
I know.
I'm not that easy to tame.
I'm considering inviting Olivia into the circle of trust.
Look at the guns on this guy.
Well, thank you for noticing.
She can't just waltz in there. I worked my ass off to get in there.
Should be an interesting weekend.
Are you not entertained?
Race to the end?
Let's do it.
All gas, no brakes, yeah. Got him going insane. I thought this would be an opportunity to get to know me, to bond.
How do you bond with an emotional puppeteer? I won't be your little Pinocchio, Geppetto, evil Geppetto. I'm a real boy.
What the hell's the matter with you, Focker?
All right, guys. What do you think?
Yeah. It's a fun little trailer.
I think because it just comes out just before December, so it's kind of holiday season, family fun movie.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how seriously I take Ariana Grande, but I'm willing to give her a chance. So
yeah. Nice.
Yeah, Tom, what do you think?
Yeah, that was actually my first time seeing that trailer. I did see that they dropped it recently, but I didn't get around to watching it. But yeah, I suppose when I first saw it come out, I kind of wondered how necessary another Meet the Parents movie was. But this doesn't look all that bad. Like you said, it looks like a fun little movie. I love the originals, so give me an excuse to go back and revisit them. But yeah, I'll probably catch this one at the movies for sure.
Yeah, nice.
I think it's a fun movie that's probably not going to change anyone's lives, but it's probably going to be something.
Yeah,
feel good film. There we go.
Yeah.
Right. I think that the next trailer is probably going to set up the rest of this episode. I haven't watched it. I've heard a lot of people talking about it. Let's hit it. What do you think, Sam?
Oh, it's a superb trailer. It's just, you just watch it and go, this is what film needs to be, because it's just so brilliant, because it's a horror film in the superhero world, but it's gonna be creepy and gross and disgusting, and that's like amazing to see. You know, I love it. I think
this is meant to be set in the main DC universe,
yes,
not the Batman one.
No, it's the same one as the Superman. So the Superman movie we just got and Peacemaker. Yeah, it's the same universe as that, basically.
It seems weird to me, like such a change in tone from what we had with Superman. It feels much more that this should be with Robert Pattinson's Batman film. It feels like that tone.
Yes.
Well, it's interesting. I think they have confirmed it's DCU, but I just found it interesting that Matt Reeves is a producer on this film.
Yes.
Because as you said, Mark, that tonality is a little bit more similar to his kind of side of DC. But did any of you guys catch a show called Creature Commandos on HBO?
Yes.
I've not had a chance to watch it yet.
I liked Creature Commandos quite a bit.
Yeah, I really enjoyed that too. So that's also set in the DCU. I'm not sure about the timeline, but you know, spoiler alert, but there is a version of Clayface in that show.
There is. Yes, so, yes, that's right.
Yeah, I'm probably seeking a little bit more clarity as to just
I
if
know
that's the same. Yeah.
Well, I know the answer to that. It's I'm not James Gunn, of course, but I do know the answer, because he basically in the show, it's basically Clayface is sort of like, he's been around for a bit, but he's obviously a bit of a psychopath. I think. And then this is his origin story. So this is actually, so the chronology, this is the first in the chronology. Right. Because it was originally always released, whatever release, that's the thing. So now we're actually going backwards in time. Who knows when, but it's obviously a few years before Superman, a few years before Creature Commandos and things like that.
Right. That's cool. I did see something about him saying this is the first movie to be released out of order.
Right.
So
I think another interesting thing is obviously I'm a big horror guy. Mike Flanagan, really big kind of director, writer, producer in the horror community, and I think he wrote the original draft for this movie, and is also working on some level, on some capacity on this movie. So that gives me good hope for the horror side of things. For sure. So yeah, I think it's cool that I like to see superhero movies like one I really enjoy is like Captain America: Winter Soldier, which plays a lot more like a political thriller than a comic book movie, and I like it when they kind of go outside of the box and try different genres for sure.
Yeah.
So yeah, 100% looking forward to this.
Right. I just want to actually say, can you see me on camera? Because I can't see you at all on camera. I think my
I can still see you. I don't know what's.
Yeah, I can see you.
Mine's glitched out. I think it's stuck on the only in theaters October 23rd, but the time is still running.
I'll put us back.
I'll
put us back.
Cool,
Yeah.
That was it. Sorry,
cool.
I was very concerned. I was like, oh no, something wrong. But that's
no.
Cool.
Good.
I was gonna say, Clayface to me feels, and if they get it right, I think it will be I think it looks fantastic. Trailers, of course, can deceive, as we've seen in the past, many trailers. But I think if I'm going to use Joker as an example of a previous DC, not Joker Folie à Deux, because that was, that film has its own problem. I liked it, but it has its issues. Joker, the original Joker, this feels very in line with the original Joker. It's a standalone film about a sort of character, an interpretation of a character who we've seen as a very comic, silly character. Like Clayface is very, it's a guy who transforms into Clay. It's silly, right? It's very like,
Well, like the Sandman in Spider-Man 3. Yes. It's a bit,
yeah. And I think what's going to be great is they get it if they nail it, which I think because James Watkins is directing, and James Watkins is a very solid horror guy. He did The Woman in Black and he did Speak No Evil, which are really interesting horror films. They're not like very typical horror films, but they're very like unique and interesting. And if they get it right, I think it could be in the line of like, we're talking like classic film, like top superhero film, like maybe even top 10 if they nail it. Because I think if they nail the body horror and they nail the horror aspect and they nail how like creepy it is and actually how upsetting the film is, because it is about a guy who is the whole accident, he gets his whole thing like transformed. I think that's terrifying. That has to be. Yeah, I think it looks amazing, and I think it can. We'll see how it goes, because it might just be not a great film. It might just be the trailer was deceiving. But if they do well, which I think they will, we could be on like a Joker level hit, or like a Joker level like acclaim or something like that.
I think James Gunn is probably pinning a lot on this because I feel like Superman had mixed reactions. Whilst it might have been financially successful, I feel like people's opinions are very mixed bag on Superman. Yeah. So if he nails this, I think this will be what he really truly needs.
Yes.
So we've got Supergirl coming out in the summer, and then we've got Clayface.
And Lanterns as well. That's the other.
Oh, the TV series in the August. Yeah.
That's the one I'm most excited for. I think I'm a big Green Lantern fan, so I'm waiting for that one. It's cool that they're doing kind of these big budget Supergirl movies, and then kind of the lower budget horror movies as well. I mean, as a studio, it's nice that they're switching it up.
I love that. Sorry, go on, Tom.
I was just going to say, did either of you guys ever see a film called Eden Lake?
No, but I know what happens, and
very dark, brutal film. But the guy who's directing Clayface, that's one of his films as well. And if that's he can really go there,
Yeah, I'm excited.
No, me too.
I just quickly googled it. I didn't. I haven't. Oh right, okay. No, I've not seen it. No.
It is. Yeah, it is pretty brutal.
But
yeah,
sorry, you go for it.
No, it's not gone. No, all I wanted to add about Lanterns was I'm a huge Kyle Chandler fan, and I've been a fan of his since I think my mum used to watch a show. No, was it me and my mum maybe watched it together? He was in a show called Early Edition when I was younger. Really simple premise. He gets to today's newspaper yesterday. So every morning he wakes up and essentially he gets tomorrow's newspaper today. And this is when, I don't know when it was, the 90s or I can't remember. He gets the newspaper and he does use the winning lottery numbers, but he only ever wins enough essentially to kind of not work. And then he uses the paper it becomes his job. He'll like read in there, so-and-so got run down by a bus, and and he spends the whole day saving people's lives based off tomorrow's news.
Nice.
And that's where I first came across Kyle Chandler. I thought he was just brilliant in it. And
I thought it would be really funny if you said I really like Kyle Chandler in Godzilla vs Kong, and that's where I became a fan of it. Yeah.
No. I think following that, I kind of now don't mind whatever he's in. Whenever I see him in anything, he just automatically just gets a pass from me because of early edition.
One of my favorites is Super 8. I'm a big fan of Super 8.
Oh yeah.
He's in that one as well.
Super 8.
Carl Chandler's great. Oh yeah, Super 8 is amazing.
I just wanted to try something quickly. If we can. No, that doesn't work. No, there was a reason why I was trying this. Okay, like, it's hard to, can't really try it with. The reason I was doing that is because I wanted to.
Oh yeah.
But our that doesn't really work. I'll quickly take us down for a split second. There we go. For a split second, you got to read the credits of The Mummy, which came out a week or so ago. We've all seen The Mummy.
Yes.
We're all here to talk about The Mummy. I'm not going to read it out exactly, but it was written by Lee Cronin, obviously. His name is in the title. There's not many people that get their name in the title of the movie. It was released on the 17th of April. It runs for 134 minutes. Its budget was 22 million, which is crazy.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, and so far it's made over 38 million US dollars.
Could be worse.
I think it's got to make 3 times its budget to be considered a success.
I always assumed it was 2.5. So I think it's on track to make its budget back. Well, it's made its budget back, but then marketing costs, right?
Yeah, so I think at the moment, because marketing is always at least double what they made it for normally. So at the moment, it's covered. I reckon it's breaking even. But I think it will make a profit. So
yeah.
Right. Okay. So we are gonna. I always like to shout this out. So IMDb, they sometimes put summaries which are hilarious or accurate, and I love to shout out. So this is the IMDb summary. The young daughter of a journalist disappears into the desert without a trace. 8 years later, the broken family is shocked when she is returned to them, as what should be a joyful reunion turns into a living nightmare. I mean, that could be a description of a few films. It's accurate. It's accurate, and actually, it's not really that funny. IMDb have had some summaries over the years, which I've read out, which were humorous. So, I've said this before on the podcast. I've never been the biggest of horror fans, but over the last few years, I've started to get more into giving them the chance. I've sat down, I've watched more than I have done in most of my life. I'm not the biggest of horror fans. However, Tom is quite a huge horror fan, and up until a few years ago, that's all Tom would watch. So I'm kind of quite interested to hear, Tom, you're the horror man. I guess just what's your initial summary of this movie, and what would you kind of rate it?
Yeah, so it's a bit of a conflicting one there, really, because it's not a poorly directed film. There's probably a bit of problem in the writing department, I'd say. Lee Cronin, I do like Lee Cronin. I enjoyed his last movie. He brings a very brutal style to horror, and he did the last Evil Dead movie, which I personally enjoyed for what it was. But at the end of the day, this movie is called The Mummy, and quite frankly, it didn't feel like a mummy movie to me, or at least what I was expecting out of a mummy movie. It felt very much more in line with his last movie, Evil Dead Rise, and I'd maybe even chuck in like a poorer version of The Exorcist at some points as well. Wanted to like it more, but I left the cinema more disappointed than happy, and I was looking forward to it for a very long time. So. Rating overall, yeah. I want to double check. The way I'm standing at the moment here, sat thinking about it, I want to say 3 out of 5, but I want to double check what I put on Letterboxd. Where is that one to? Oh yeah, I did give it a 3 out of 5. Yeah, so 3 out of 5 on that one.
Yeah. Cool. Well, we'll come back and go in a bit more detail in a minute. But Sam, what about you? What's your overall thoughts and rating?
Because I know a lot of people haven't loved it. I personally quite enjoyed it. I don't think it's that. I mean, I think it is too long. It's 2 hours and 10 minutes.
Yeah, something like that.
15, yeah, it's long. It's a long film. It's stupidly long. It's actually because if you look at like Evil, I loved Evil Dead Rise. Is it Evil Dead Rise? Yeah. I loved Evil Dead Rise, and I echo your statement. It's not a mummy film. It's an Evil Dead film. And at times it's a very good Evil Dead film with a sort of, creepy child and gore and sort of things. But I think overall, when you because it's being treated as a very serious mummy, we're going to be, look how frightening this is, because in the previous mummies they've been so over the top. This is like very serious, and we're gonna boil it down and graphic and gory. I think when you sort of stop taking it as a serious film and go and start laughing at how ridiculous the whole film is, the film is actually really fun. And you sort of go, oh, this is kind of fun. And I do think it does clop along quite nicely. But I think, as you're correctly saying, it's not a great mummy film. But it's a fun Evil Dead film, but not the standard of an Evil Dead film. So I think it's kind of, I kind of like it, but I'm also very aware it has a lot of flaws which make absolutely no sense when you think about the film. But yeah.
Yeah, so I've never watched Evil Dead, and the kind of film that Evil Dead is, would not appeal to me. I'm not a massive horror lover, although, like I say, I'm giving them more of an opportunity for me to. It's like Tom said to me, most of his life he's spent watching horror films, and over the last year or two, he started to give an opportunity to other genres, and we got Tom a couple of weeks ago to watch his first anime movie. So I think that's kind of a bit where I am, but I've probably about a year or two into this horror thing. Yeah. But watching anything like Evil Dead or Rises or whatever, I would just not be for me.
Well, to be fair, the first few Evil Deads are actually kind of comedies. So the first one's a bit more like sort of straightforward horror, and then the second and the third one are just basically slapstick horror comedies. And actually much more like over the top, and they're not that scary personally. So I think watch the first 3 Evil Dead films. They're actually not as sort of, they haven't gone into the sort of more horrific horror route. The next
yeah. All right, okay.
The second one's crazy, isn't it? The second one is really out there. Yeah.
Third one's my favorite. I love the third.
All right, okay.
No, it's a great trilogy, really. Like you said, it drifts tonally, but they're all good. Yeah.
Without spoiling it, they go just like you can't predict what happens in each one. That's the beauty of it.
That's kind of I love it with films like that, where you put something on and you don't, where it starts is just so somewhere else where it ends. You can't imagine the journey you're gonna go on. Okay, right. I went to the cinema and watched this, and I thought I'm going to be brave. I'm going to make myself go. I'm going to watch The Mummy. I'm going to put on my big boy pants and sit down and watch a horror. So I went with my mate Rob, who we stood up, and I feel like you can tell when you stand up in the cinema where there's like a lull of quietness.
Yeah.
And there's only one film I stood up, and the quietness was different, and that was 1917. I think that was in 2019 or it's the early start of 2020. It was
just before COVID.
Yeah, just before COVID. It was the last film I saw just before COVID, and it was that whole cinema was eerily quiet, but almost from respect and difference. With this film, I stood up and I just felt this lull of quiet in the cinema when The Mummy finished, and it was kind of like people didn't really know what to think, or I could feel it in the room, and then me and my mate Rob, we just sort of spent like 20 minutes afterwards like breaking down the film, and he'd seen Evil Dead and I hadn't, and he was like, this wasn't a Mummy film, this was an Evil Dead film. And I did say, look, I'm gonna have to take your word for it, because I've not seen it. I said, but for what I have seen the Brendan Fraser ones, I have seen the Tom Cruise one, and my sort of thoughts on a mummy film is, you're getting something out of a coffin that's sort of several thousand years old, and then comes out and causes havoc, really. Yeah. However, this to me feels like they're using the Mummy branding, but actually they're telling a story of possession. And that's kind of what it felt like to me. It was like I said, it's like some sort of demonic possession type thing. And they're linking it to the Mummy, and they're using those tools, and there is some element of this sort of demon or whatever been locked up for thousands of years. So that kind of spirit has got out, but not a. I don't know. I was looking for something that had much more of an Egyptian. They're coming back, and that's what I was looking for. Even if they'd gone down the full horror route, that's kind of what I was hoping for. And even though we got something that they do talk about, we get to see the journey the dad goes on, which I found that really interesting actually, that he went and found that professor. Actually, that was quite funny. He's like, oh, you hear about that tax thing? No, I don't care about your taxes. I love the fact that there was some digging into the past, and they got the hieroglyphics and the language on the bandages that were wrapped around the daughter, and I enjoyed that. It was disappointing that we didn't get to see that professor again. I think he got 2 scenes, and that was it.
The thing is, it's like with the film, I think I said this just now, it's such a serious film. We're taking this very seriously, but you have to, like, with this kind of film, it's so ridiculous as a concept that actually it's one of those things where this is, if you compare it to The Omen, which is like everyone's treating it so seriously, but you actually kind of believe it because it is actually, this could actually be maybe it's the child evil and things like that. But with this, it's like, this is so ridiculous that I'm going to laugh because this is nonsense, but I'm also going to have fun with it because it is actually kind of entertaining in its own way. With the, I mean, there's some great like visual gags with the sort of tongue licking the feet. I thought that was weirdly, I don't know. I thought it was very like kind of went there, and I was like, okay, this is the kind of film that it needs to be. It's towing the line between very like safe and sort of creepy, scary to suddenly gonzo over the top, and it needs to go gonzo over the top, and I was really enjoying it more when it was like just like going, oh my god, this is like
I think so. Yeah, I do think it was serious. I do you know what, the one thing I did like was the tone and style of it, and I also really loved the fact that we have it set in Egypt and in America, and the joined up approach, because I kept thinking like, are they just going to have this detective in Egypt on her own? But I do love how it does all build up into one finale where everybody comes together. Yeah. And when I was watching it, I thought like, okay, I'm enjoying the tone, the style. I am liking the mystery. I don't really enjoy the personal preference, the sort of possession type stuff. Yeah. But I got on board with it, and I thought, okay, this is what it is. And overall, I think I liked it. For me, what really truly saved it for me, and we can break it down in a minute, was the ending, the very, very ending, in the prison cell. That for me, really, that twist, that turned it around for me. Yeah. I think if they hadn't have done that and they'd have left the sacrifice as a sacrifice, I probably would have been even more disappointed than I had this sort of overall feeling of disappointment, but still I did enjoy it, but I don't think I loved it. So, but there are parts of it I liked. I definitely think out of all of it, my favorite character though was the detective. Is it Dahlia? I think her name was. She was my favorite overall, and I loved how driven she was. But yeah, I gave it a 2 out of 5 when I left. I might maybe feel a little bit stronger about it now. Maybe I think I would probably set on a 2.5 out of 5. Okay. But Sam, what would you rate it actually?
I gave it a 3.5 because I think it did in the second half. It just got better for me, and I just enjoyed it way more personally.
I think the action scene at the end where everything is going off was pretty well done. Yeah. I liked the build up. It was very slow. Yes. And I did think to myself several times, I kind of wanted to knock the parents' heads together of like, what are you not seeing? Like, how are you not getting this? So,
did you guys hate the bit with the wheelchair when they just drag it up the stairs?
Oh, that I was just like, what are you two not doing? One just gets to the bottom and one gets to the top.
Just pick.
Yeah.
Also, I thought if you're nitpicking, I was just kind of joking with my partner, but I was kind of like, how did they get her back to
on the plane?
How did they get her home? Like, she's like in this state, and I just was that just a commercial flight or so I don't know. I was really gutted when they left Egypt because I think Mark, you mentioned a bit. I wanted a little bit more from that. But I suppose
I felt like they should have stayed in Egypt when they went to get her. I felt like they should have just left them. When it jumped several years later and they're in America, I was like, oh, okay. I thought, well, how are they going to pull this back? Obviously, they do pull it back with the coffin in the middle of the jungle and the helicopter. Was it helicopter or plane crash? Plane crash. Yeah. I hoped when the parents went back, they would end up staying there and it would kind of all go off.
Right.
So, but yeah, we didn't get that. We got this crazy journey of the kid getting on a plane, apparently. So, which
as Sam mentioned earlier, I think maybe like I went into it with this notion that it was going to be this serious picture. I think I might revisit it just with a little bit of a different mindset and see if I can enjoy it a little bit more. Because, like you said, there's fun to be had there in its ridiculousness, isn't there? So.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I think a lot of it's ridiculous, like, especially the youngest daughter going into school and just swearing at everyone. Just, you know.
I was like, no, it was just so silly, but also kind of funny. And I was like, this makes no sense, but I'm having fun.
Yeah.
I think the thing I found the most funny was just the parents' complete obliviousness to their entire family becoming possessed. And the daughter killing the grandma, and just, I was like, I know they say love is blind, but I was like, you lot, what's going on? So it took a while for it to sink in.
Yeah.
Random ones. Did any of you guys see a movie? I think it was from 2018, 2019. Maybe it was called Midsummer.
Oh yeah,
I have. I have.
Yeah, that's. I was in the cinema scratching my head, like, where have I seen this guy before? But it was from Midsummer, and I think he's an Irish actor. But I've seen him in a few different things, and he always locks in a solid performance. I think he did okay in this one as well. So
I think it was well performed. It was, it wasn't like revolutionary, but it was.
Was he the boyfriend in it? Was he the boyfriend in it?
He was the awful boyfriend in Midsummer.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Right.
Yeah. He was.
He thinks he's off enjoying himself, but he's getting set up massively. So.
Yeah.
Midsummer was a really dark film.
Really.
It. No, but really dark. No. I enjoyed it, but like.
Yeah. I know. It was actually more horrific than Hereditary because of how actually nastier it was.
Yeah. I do struggle with that film. Oh, sorry, not to cut you off.
No, you're fine. Go for it.
I do struggle with Midsummer. I'm a really, really big fan of an old 70s horror picture called The Wicker Man.
Yes, it's my top 4 on Letterboxd.
Yeah, just a wonderful movie, like a really great example of like great British cinema. But I just felt Midsummer was just towing that line a little bit too hard. I just felt like it felt like he'd watched Wicker Man and said, let me take that and go a little bit further. Which is fine, but it took me out of the film, I think.
Okay, all right, well, before we I guess move on and wrap it up, is anything anyone wants to add? There was a lot of stuff that got covered in this movie. I think something that a lot of people talk about was the sort of, I guess, the possession twist of it being a child. A lot of the time you get an adult happening. Any thoughts on that at all?
I guess it could. There's that worry that it does toe the line again. Like, I know I was saying, I'd love it to be so gonzo and like over the top, but at the same time, it's also like, does it toe the line of actually being quite upsetting? Because I don't have kids, and but like I can understand, like, a parent watches the film and might genuinely go, this is actually really upsetting. Because my dad hates horror, but he literally can't watch films where it's like the kid is in danger or like something horrible, because it's just because it's like too close, I guess. It's too like upsetting and things like that. And it's so I guess you could have some people, I know, like, obviously people might go, it's just a horror and it's one of those things, but also it could be one of those things where it's just actually this could be really, I guess, like, upsetting for parents or new parents, maybe even, like people, because it's such a, like, it actually gets to the point where you go, I'm really enjoying, but actually this is kind of disgusting at times,
Well, yeah, and there's a lot of body horror and like the toe scenes as well.
I was just about to say that. The toenail scene was horrible.
Especially the last one when she's really like, and then that bit, I was like, I had to look. I couldn't look at that. That was
No, the embalming fluid bit when she went at the funeral. I was like, oh no! It was terrific, sort of horror, like gross out horror. But it was just going. I was just going, because I was just going, the entire time.
I think, you talking about the bit as well where the young girl puts the teeth in. I know that's the thing. When you were talking about the Gonzo stuff, that's one of those moments where I'm just like, what?
It's like in The Boys when they just write the most grotesque scene. How far can we go with this?
You can imagine that writer's room where they're like, what else can we fucking throw in it?
So, but
I don't know if you guys have ever watched like the Universal monster movie, The Mummy, from back in like, I don't know, like the 30s or 40s or any of that. Like Hammer Horror, but over here in England, they did a few renditions of The Mummy with Christopher Lee and stuff like that. But those movies, they played like horror. But don't get me wrong, if you guys watch them now, you wouldn't find them very horrific, obviously. But they towed that line of like serious horror, but it was very much down the kind of suspense aspect of thing, the slow, decrepit monster creeping up on said victim or whatnot. Whereas I don't know, I would have liked a really nice modern version of that was maybe a little bit stronger in its horror than those previous ones, because like you said, with the toenail scene and the ripping off, obviously it's a standout scene for the movie, and it's very like, it's grotesque, but once again, it just, not to repeat myself, it just takes me straight back to Evil Dead, you know what I mean? Straight away, it zips me out of the movie. And
It in Evil Dead Rise, there was that whole thing with the children getting possessed, and they're like, ooh, that kind of thing. That was literally the half the film was literally just, I'm now possessed, and I'm now possessing you, and I'm now possessing you. And I was like, that's kind of fun, but also this is an Evil Dead. I mean, I personally think if they'd gotten Sam Raimi's permission, I think they very well could have. They should have just called it Evil Dead Mummy. Or Evil Dead.
Well, I think this is meant to be connected to the Evil Dead franchise.
That would make a little bit more sense, because we've actually got 2 new Evil Dead movies confirmed already. So we've got one this year and one next year.
Burn and Wrath.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys saw the trailer that just come out for. Yeah, I saw it before The Mummy, actually. Yeah, it played before The Mummy. Obviously that trailer was very teaser, very like, not sure. Yeah, essentially here's the scene. Yeah, so not sure what's going on there, but I'm definitely intrigued to see if it ties into this. If it, who knows?
I can't remember. I was reading somewhere, but one of I can't remember, one of the actresses, I think, from Evil Dead Rise is in The Mummy, but more of a cameo role.
Oh, really?
I think so.
Yeah, no, I can't remember the actress, but because I haven't seen Evil Dead Rise to know who it is, but I read that she's in there. But look, as we're coming to an end, I do want to talk about the ending, but not ruin the ending. But obviously, the good guys always win. Yeah, and there's a sacrifice that's done, and I did think this is where we would leave it with the sacrifice. But then there's a twist to that sacrifice, which actually, for me, I don't really want to spoil it because it only came out a week ago, but there's a twist to that sacrifice for me that actually I felt saved the movie. I thought that was cool what they did. So, without spoiling it, what do you guys think of the sacrifice and the twist?
Yeah, I actually, like you, I enjoyed it. I think it ended the movie, like, it could have went a few different ways. I think that was a solid little route, and it actually made me think if there is to be a sequel, if there ever was a sequel. Well, obviously I don't want to say too much, but it made me think of a sequel a bit more. So
I did. Do you know? I having obviously, I know I gave it a low grade, and obviously I think I've crapped on it a little bit, but I would watch a follow on to this. I think. For me, the 3 adult characters which carried this film, obviously the detective and the 2 parents, of all of them, though, I would love to see that detective, the same character, carry on into a second film. I would really enjoy. I'd happily just have the parents and the family kind of not come back and have that detective still be in Egypt and follow her, maybe with something else that comes up. And I would. Yeah. Well, I don't know if anything will happen, but I would be down with that.
Yeah, I mean, I liked the ending quite a bit. I thought it was a good nasty way to end the film, and sort of in a good way, not like a how dare they end this film like this, but like it was just it was like appropriately nasty way. It was a comeuppance ending, similar to Weapons, which I also would spoil, but that ending is a brilliant. You get what you deserved ending, you know.
Very much
so I think it was actually very satisfying, cathartic, the ending, and it was actually quite nice. I was actually like, oh, this is actually really nice, you know. We've had this very horrific, horrible nightmare of a film, and it's actually like, oh, that's kind of sweet. I mean, again, it doesn't make a lot of sense, but also you know,
I love it when the good guy doesn't always have to ride off into the sunset and we don't see them again. You know, we do it. There's so often everyone's safe, but the good guy then suddenly has to go off and that's it. I felt like this is kind of what I think this family needed, was to have all be together kind of thing.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, they did well with the sacrifice and the sort of kind of grim sacrifice, really, because and I love the comeuppance. Ultimately, was just so good.
Yeah.
So,
that was great.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I think it's a really messy first act, which goes into a really solid second and third act, which goes into a great ending. Personally,
I think the ending was my favorite part about it, and it was a long drawn out build up to a really action packed final moment with a sacrifice and then a decent ending. And I feel like now maybe I was probably a bit too harsh. Maybe I'm gonna stick with my 2.5, but
2.5.
I'm not anti even rewatching it, and if there was a sequel I would definitely watch it. But do you guys, one question before we go, do you think this should have been the Tom Cruise reboot with Tom Cruise being the dad?
No,
I never actually saw that Tom Cruise one, to be fair. Was it? I take it was what it was.
I think it was just a Tom Cruise film. It was a Tom Cruise action film. So
have you seen the video where the sound cuts out in the trailer? It's just like like there's no music. There's just noise. It's just you know the bit where Tom Cruise.
I haven't seen it. No.
And he's like rolling around in the plane. So he's like the plane's crashing down with the mummy in the thing. And he's going and he goes in the trailer. Normally you'd have the music playing like that kind of thing. But there's no music in this trailer, so it's just Tom Cruise going like that, like it's terrible. It's brilliant. It's very funny.
I'll go on YouTube it. I didn't hate that
no sound trailer.
I didn't hate that film as much as a lot of people did, but it did have problems, that film. Anyway, right. I'm going to dip us out again because I'm going to do what I did a second ago. Hold on. Right, so we're going to talk about Exit 8. So Exit 8, actually, there's a previews that came out a couple of weeks ago. However, national release was today. Sam got to go and watch one of the previews. You know, I could have gone to see a preview. There was one at my local cinema. I didn't go. I was too busy. So I watched it this evening like Tom did. I'm not going to do any of the names. I will just obliterate them. So it has a running time of 95 minutes. What I do love, though, budget of $15 million.
And it looks incredible.
So it's so far made $31 million.
Brilliant.
And it's not been out that long. So
good. Well, I think it's been out in Japan for ages, to be fair. But
a 2025 release over there, I think.
Yeah. So it's been just come out like.
Okay, so there's some of that. So look, this is based off a Japanese psychological horror video game, and do you know what? Watching it, even though I've never played the video game, I had real video game vibes. So
100%.
Right, anyway, just shout out the IMDb thing and then we'll jump into this. Right, a man becomes increasingly desperate. Sorry, I don't know why that made me laugh. A man becomes increasingly desperate when he realizes he is trapped in a subway station needing to complete a mission to get out, which does sound like a flipping video game.
Yep.
So
that's the game.
It is the game. Have you played the game, Sam?
Yeah.
Oh, right. Okay.
Cool. It's great.
Tell us about the game before we jump into it.
So the game is, there's no story for the game. You are literally dropped in into this subway, and there's a guy walking past, like a guy with a briefcase walking past you, and you go forward, and you end up at a sign that says number 1, and there are things that say, you go down this passage. If you see an anomaly, turn back and go back the other way. If you don't see one, keep going forward. It's all good. So you end up in the hallway, and you look around, and there could be anything wrong. A poster could be missing, or there could be a river of blood, which is a more obvious one, or the light could be flickering. If that happens, then you have to turn back. If you miss it and keep going, you could either die or you get reset back to things. So it's an infinite loop. So you have to get to the exit 8 to get out of the game, basically. But the game could go theoretically for years if you keep missing the thing. You're basically trapped there until you get all 8 correct, basically.
Did you play it because the film was here, or you?
No. I discovered it way before the film, and I think it popped up on YouTube, and I was like, "Oh, this is kind of cool." And I didn't know what it was, and I was actually a bit too scared to play it because it was just something off about it. The liminal space creeps me out. It's like an empty thing. Like the subway should be filled with people, and it's just no one there. I'm just like, that's like terrifying. But yeah, it's
Did you get out?
Yes, I've done it. I figured it out because I sort of, to be fair, they do kind of repeat the anomalies after a while.
Right.
Sort of figure out. It's like sometimes the guy will be walking way too fast. You're like, okay, that's quite obvious. But then sometimes it'll be actually really hard to spot. Like just a simple tile on the wall is different,
or a handle being moved.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Or like a poster is different, and that's always
okay. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Right. Okay. So we'll do similar to what we did with the Mummy, just initial thoughts and rating, and then we'll sort of go into it a little bit more detail. Right, Sam. Actually, let's start with you as you're new to the show. What's your overall thoughts and summary of Exit 8?
It in my opinion, it's one of the best video game films of all time.
Oh wow!
Which is not it's not a good thing to say because there's not that many good ones. But like, it's easily up there, probably one of the most faithful but also original retellings of a video game that I've seen, and I think it's brilliantly paced. It's not an hour and a half is genuinely wonderful to see in a film. Because it gets in, it like you have the bit of a prologue, but then once it starts, it goes, and it's really tense. It's actually tense because there's nothing scary in the film. It's more about there could be anything could come up at any point, and that is amazing. It is nerve shattering. It is so tense, and it's just I thought it was just the camera movements, the sets. It is fantastic. It is really, really good. Really.
Okay. And what would you rate it out of 5?
4.5.
That's good. Solid rating.
Loved it.
I guess it's nice you've had a chance to digest it a little bit further than we have. Have you watched it? Have you just watched it the once, or have you
just the once? So I watched it on the 14th. So actually, almost 2 weeks since I watched it. It's like playing in my mind constantly.
I'm assuming with the high rating, you'd be keen to rewatch it too.
Oh, 100%. I want to show it to everyone because I think it's a great. I watched it with my mate who had literally just gone to Japan. So I was
wow!
I was like, did you get stuck in the exit? And then, but he really gave it like 4, I think, but he really enjoyed it. But we were always joking, going, "Oh, if this was a game, if this happened in the game, we would have got out in 5 minutes rather than an hour and a half." Yeah, we both liked it quite a bit.
Oh, amazing. And Tom, what about you? You watched it obviously this evening. Oh, you watched it with your wife as well, didn't you? Or not your wife, your partner, but
yeah. Me and the missus, we watched it together. We come out a mixed bag, really. We come out a bit of mixed bag, but I think we definitely appreciated, as you say, kind of the sets and the overall look of the film, the start of the film. Definitely enjoyed that. But there was times, Joe, and you never want this with a 90-minute movie. There was times where I was looking at my watch and I was, I mean, a 90-minute movie you don't really watch, and it was moving along, and to be honest, it does lock you in with because you start looking for anomalies naturally. It kind of locks you in that way. But at the same time, I just felt there was, I don't know if I just expected more horror or more to come out of it. Yeah, I like the fact that there was, it's a little bit because as you mentioned, Sam, that there's a lack of plot in the game. They've obviously added a little something there for us to follow
lot of
along.
mythology in the film.
Yeah, which I enjoyed. So yeah, it was a mixed bag. I didn't hate it, but I didn't love it. It was there was stuff to be enjoyed, and there was stuff that I was a little bit like I could have wanted a bit more out of that.
Yeah.
And what about your missus? Actually, what did she feel?
She didn't like it at all. She just felt
she didn't. Okay.
No, she just felt it was too slow. She just to be fair to my missus, she's not big on foreign movies and subtitles and all that. So I think she was already fighting an uphill battle.
Right. Okay.
Personally, yeah.
I didn't even ask my wife if she wanted to go. I knew it wouldn't be something she'd want to watch.
To be fair, there's not much dialogue in the film.
I know.
There's quite a bit, but it's actually very sparse because it is literally just him. He stops talking very quickly once he. I mean, it's a lot of poster, door, but then but then you have a bit of dialogue. But a lot of it is actually it's actually the dialogue is only said when it needs to be said instead of just.
There's not much more than a couple of pages of dialogue in this film. I don't think you have to worry about reading subtitles in this.
Yeah,
because I wasn't. I did. Do you know what? I was. Man, I'm tired now. It's been a long, hard week, and I did think, I don't know. I knew I had to go to the cinema, but I was thinking, I did think before I went in there, I thought, I hope this isn't dialogue heavy. It was absolutely fine, and because I just thought I don't really fancy reading a screen for a whole movie, but the dialogue was enough, actually, for what it was. I think actually any more than it would have ruined it as well. I think it was realistically there wouldn't have been too much dialogue with this situation.
Yeah, of course.
So, Tom, what would you rate it actually before we move on?
I think I'll go a 3 out of 5 on this one as well. I think there was enough there to be enjoyed. Yeah, just a little bit slow on my end. Yeah.
Did you guys see an indie film that came out last year? I'd forgotten what it was.
Is it No Exit?
No, you're thinking. I know you're exactly thinking of the film I'm about to talk about. It's called It Ends.
Oh yes, that was it. Yeah.
Yeah. So I was watching when I watched this film this evening. It Ends just came in my mind, and
the car one.
The car one. Yeah.
I haven't seen it, but I heard very good things.
Yeah. So I think it was made by Letterboxd. I think, or
no, it premiered on Letterboxd in the video store, and then Neon have picked it up.
Oh, okay, right.
Which is very good.
So it's described as like an indie horror, and I think the first half an hour probably you could say that's a horror.
Yeah.
But It Ends is deeply psychological in the end, and actually the horror really is about yourself. That's how deep it ends. That's how deep it ends becomes in the end, that you start reflecting on yourself. And this is when I was watching Exit 8, I thought of It Ends, and then I started thinking about myself, and I thought, man, there's like a lot of deep messages in here. But to come to this, I thought, well, we've got the deep messages. It's one of those films that's going to make you start reflecting on your own life and choices. It definitely gets you. Whilst it doesn't have a lot of dialogue, it didn't need to, because it's it's got a message about it, and that comes from the different characters that we do have through the movie. Did you guys ever see a music video called by The Prodigy? I hate the name, but Smack My Bitch Up. Did you guys ever see it?
I think I've seen that.
Right, okay, yeah. So when this film starts with it completely POV from his eyes, so the first maybe 5 to 10 minutes.
I think it was a good 15 minutes.
Was it 15 minutes?
I'd say it was. Yeah.
There was a good opening moment at the. I can't remember. I didn't time it.
All in one take.
Yeah, it was all in one. Cool. The way it was done, and I thought, like, guys, when you get a chance, go and watch the Prodigy video, Smell a Bitch Up. It's all, the whole video is done from someone's point of view on a crazy bender of a night out, and like fights and drinking and all this. It's a crazy video.
Yeah.
So when this opens up, I thought it's a very unusual choice to start with completely POV, and I thought this is video game stuff, right? So. Yeah. They've done it with video game styling, and I thought, okay, is this going to be what the film is? It's going to almost be video game dropping you in, But I thought it was clever how we're POV until he's in the tunnel, or the the bit that he's stuck in, and then the moment he gets stuck into it, honestly, I have to admire a lot of the camera work that's done in this film. And then as the camera work just suddenly pulls away from POV and kind of swings around, then to reveal our main character, who we haven't really seen other than some reflection and stuff. And I thought that was such a cool opening moment to be POV with some struggles with him and his ex-girlfriend, which actually sets up why I think he's there. And to be even more deeper on this, you know how the chapters have we don't ever find out their names. And the first chapter of him is the lost man, and I was like, literally and figuratively, the lost man. He's lost actually where he is, and he's lost in his life, and he's lost in his relationship, and he sets it up for you by going, I'm on the way to my 10th job. And he's obviously got his partner, and she keeps saying, you can't decide, you can never decide,
because she's having a baby as well.
And he can't decide. And then we go on this route of him being lost, and then we come across this child who I was a little bit disappointed that we didn't get to find out what happened. I think we have to assume they got to safety. But that journey, I don't know how long he was potentially in this underground, but I'm assuming maybe a few days, maybe, or something. I feel like there's a fantasy element. I got to feel like there's a fantasy element to it, that there maybe a day. Well,
I think it was real time.
Do you feel like it was?
Yeah, because like if it was, let's say, because time was linearly moving forward.
Yeah.
Because he got out and suddenly time had gone through a few hours, right? So he got, and let's say he arrives at 8 o'clock at the thing, and then he gets out at 10 o'clock. So and that's an hour and a half later.
The only reason I assume that maybe longer had gone past, because the boy at the end was asleep or knocked out when all that flooding had happened.
Yeah.
So I thought there's got to be a day or so here, and also they fell asleep in the tube for a bit as well, like underneath the sign. So I kind of give it a day or two in there, maybe. I felt like there must be some supernatural, especially from the girl that challenged the walking man. And I thought, this isn't something, a bit like the movie It Ends, we're never going to get the answer of why this was all created and what happened. And I don't need it to.
No.
However, I felt like she kind of told us anyway. It was something to do with purgatory or hell or whatever. I felt like somebody was behind it. Someone was pulling strings, and I don't really care about that. I love that what it was somebody went on a journey, which people do in real life. They went on a journey, and by the end of it, that final moment where he turned, and I was like, yes, he appreciated the journey that he was on. And we didn't need to see what happened, but he clearly went over there to change, to handle something differently. But look, anyway, in regards to the film itself, the visuals, everything, it was just so beautiful. I actually really admire how beautifully shot it was. And I didn't need all of the text or the character or the dialogue. The dialogue we got was enough, and I felt like the characterization was enough for us to buy into him. And I felt like by giving him even just the asthma and the struggles that he was in, I was just buying into him as a character. And look, I think I'm going to give it a 4 out of 5 with where I'm at. I thought this was such a good film. This was on my anticipated list for this film. I put like a list of 10 films or something together, and this was on this list. It was something I was really excited to see.
I'm also going to say, because it premiered at Cannes last year, which I think is the first time a video game film has ever premiered at Cannes.
Okay.
And that's like a feat in itself, and I think it is. As a video game adaptation, if you leave out the fact it's also a film, as a video game adaptation, it's really well made. Like it's
well made.
It's ridiculous, because if you look at Sonic and Mario, yes, they're kind of faithful and stuff, but like they're not very well made films.
No.
Like Mario, yes, it has lovely animation, but that's it. The animation is good in an animated film. Well, of course it is, because it's an animated film. This is like, because they could have easily just done a very generic way of doing it. He just walked up and down a street. That could have been, or like in a room. But the way they've done it, and it looks so accurate to the thing, and it all looks like it's on one big long set, but they've obviously done it in a way that's so clever. With it's obviously just one hallway they built. They just change it each time. It's so clever how they've done it with the camera movements and everything. Just so well made, so well made.
When you guys were watching Exit 8, and you know how how he'd started to work it out if there's an anomaly, turn around, etc. And you see the numbers clocking up, and I knew at some point he was going to screw up and get 0. But I loved how the camera would deliberately follow his head as he was walking around. So you couldn't see the number initially. And there were so many times where I was on the edge of my seat going, fucking move the camera. Like, I want to know. I want to know. Like, and the difference with the Walking Man versus the Lost Man was actually, I felt, was becoming more grounded and finding himself, where the Walking Man, once the girl challenged him and said a word that triggered him about guilty, he lost it. That was point he lost it.
All over the place.
So I thought that it was interesting to have the comparison between the two characters and how they handled their scenario. So I just thought that was cool.
I think what I really appreciate about the movie as well is, I think when I don't think I watched the trailer, but I thought I'd read it was a video game, a horror game, or a suspense game. So I kind of thought, right, this is probably going to be, it's 90 minutes, going to be straight to the point, jump scares, things like this. So I think I really appreciated how it just offered more. It offered, like you said, a little bit of self-reflection, a little bit more humanity in there than just I don't know, just a jumpy horror video game that I was kind of expecting out of the film. As you say, it really, the characters reflected certain aspects of humanity as well, and you could tell the director was like, this was a very thought out, crafted picture. I mean, like you said, the same location, but the minor details. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I'd also would love to see like a making of documentary as well.
I also think the costume design was also really interesting. I know it's like such a small thing in the film because it is literally just people wearing shirts and stuff. But the way it's like the Walking Man, when he walks down, he's in like the sort of briefcase and thing. It lulls you into a full sense of security. Because you think, oh, this is a guy. This is going to be he's going to come and save the day. Oh, this is a nice guy. And then you actually realize it's actually a form of torment because you keep seeing him again and again. It's actually quite horrifying.
It is,
especially with his hair and stuff, because he's got like a horrific bald sort of spot, and like the hair is kind of all over the place, and it was actually kind of, it got frightening every single time we walk down.
Oh yeah.
And then the bit when, of course, one of the anomalies when he starts following him, I was like, that's actually really frightening because it was so just kind of walking down, and then it's that classic thing where, in the allegory where if you're in the coal mine, you hear the canary stop singing, get out. It's that thing where he literally is like, if you hear him keep walking, you're probably fine. The second you hear his footsteps stop, get out, run, go away, basically. Because I thought that was incredible. I thought it was actually, in a film that hasn't really got any jump scares, is actually terrifying.
Oh, I tell you what, there was a couple moments I jumped in this. I felt like I jumped rats and I jumped in this, I think, more than I did in The Mummy. It was that first time when the Lost Man stops, and honestly, do you know what, the camera work? I have to shout out the camera work again. Incredible. How it followed the Lost Man's face. As suddenly, like the Walking Man is like over him with this horrendously creepy smile, and even I jumped in my seat. I was like, oh, fuck. And there were several moments when he opened that door and looked down the dark tunnel. And I was like, I thought, I think I might have even said it. I think I might have said it out loud. I was like, fuck that. I ain't going in there.
Is it cool if I check who the cinematographer is actually?
Go ahead.
I'll just because I want to shout them out because it was an exceptional like film thing. The cinematography was Keisuke Imamura. So
good job on the name as well.
Oh, well done, well done. Maybe I should have had you pronounce the names. I'm terrible. Terrible. Tom, you might be interested to know because you obviously your first anime movie a few weeks ago was Your Name. The same director also produced Your Name as well.
Really?
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. Okay. Well, we'll start to wrap up now. Is there anyone's like final thoughts on this, or happy to wrap up?
I just want to, I just finally add that I want to play the game. I want to give the game a go. I've never played it, so yeah, I definitely want to give that a try.
It's a very, you can actually, it's fun because the game theoretically could, I think I said this earlier again, but the game theoretically could be done in, I think people have completed it in 1 minute.
Oh wow!
But I mean, I think the longest it took me was 20 minutes.
Okay.
Because I just kept on messing up and I just didn't know what was going on. But then I think, it's one of those things where it's creepy, but it's actually like it's just about sort of keeping your cool and just noticing things.
Was it on Steam? Where did you put it on Steam?
Well, I played it weirdly. Right, this is a weird thing because I played it on Roblox because it's on Roblox, but it's literally the same thing. So I kind of, so I'm gonna count it as I played it.
Okay, all right. I'll have a look into it as well. I'll look into it.
I think it's on PS Plus. I think I saw it on PS Plus. I don't know.
Probably is. Yeah. It's all. You can also watch walkthroughs on YouTube as well, if you want to sort of get a feel of, how it moves and like things like that.
Amazing. Well, look, we're going to wrap up this week's episode. Thanks, Sam, for joining us. It was cool to break through the 2 recent horror releases.
Thank you for having
me. Personally, I don't think either of them were particularly scary. There were moments in them that may have not been nice to look at. And Exit 8 for me, the most horrible bit in that when he was throwing up. I can't watch shit like that.
There was more of that in The Mummy, I'm sure.
Oh yeah. When I mean the toe thing was probably the most horrific thing for me in that movie.
I think the embalming fluid bit that was the bit when I was like, I can't watch it. I can't do that.
Right, okay, so next week we are back and we will be reviewing the entire Back to the Future trilogy and having a conversation on that. So you can follow us on social media. We're on Geeks Unleashed on everything, Instagram, Facebook, etc. Sam, where can people find you on social media?
I'm on Instagram at Sam Adam Winner, all lowercase, all one word.
Oh, amazing. If you are listening on your favorite podcast platform, please remember to give us a 5-star review, like, share, etc., and do all those things. Well, we're all going to dip out, and we will see you next week.
Cheers, guys.